California Governor Gavin Newsom is trolling President Trump by posting his response to Texas's gerrymandering idea, okay, by mimicking Trump's posting style. Now, look, Trump is deeply afraid of his party losing the House of Representatives in the midterms, and so he has ordered them to rig their congressional maps to give Republicans a massive advantage. I mean, these maps are so gerrymandered that it would give Republicans an extra 5 seats in Texas. Now, these maps are usually redrawn once every 10 years after the census is completed, but which means, by the way, last time they did the census and redrew these maps was 2020. Meaning that it should not be done, the next census, it should not be done until 2030. And these maps, and this is important here, okay? The drawing of these congressional maps is literally in the Constitution. And so that's kind of important too. If you're a so-called constitutional conservative, you know, you pretend to care about what's in that document, even though it's likely that if you are a constitutional conservative, you only know about the Second Amendment, and that's about it. Well, anyway, here's the thing. Trump and his lackeys don't care about the Constitution, okay? They don't care. They really don't. They don't care if redrawing the congressional maps every 10 years is in there, because they're authoritarians, they're fascists, and they just don't care about law or reality, okay? They're into rigging elections by making sure that even if Democratic turnout in their states is massive, you get a massive blue wave, that Republicans will still end up winning seats because of the way that these districts are drawn. Period. This is not a new problem, by the way. Gerrymandering has existed for a long time. In fact, Democrats have also used gerrymandering to their advantages as well. So let's be honest about that, right? And look, you know, we've seen it within recent years, for example, in New York, to basically remove progressives, to pit other progressives in New York in these districts against each other. Okay? And so, yes, Democrats have used it. Now, though, because Trump is doing what he's doing, there are Democrats that are now seeing this as a problem. And okay, great. All right, and finally, thanks for getting to the party. You're here a little bit late, but at least you're here, and you actually want to fight fire with fire. Let's do that. Yes. In fact, on Monday, Newsom had sent a letter to Trump asking him to call off his, quote, unprecedented mid-decade hyper-partisan gerrymander to rig the upcoming midterm elections, and warned that if you will not stand down, I will be forced to lead an effort to redraw the maps in California to offset the rigging of maps in red states. But, he said, if the other states call off their redistricting efforts, we will happily do the same, and American democracy will be better for it. Wow. Now, big shocker, okay, Trump obviously ignored Newsom's strongly worded letter. And so, the following day, Newsom posted this. Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic, as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor. That will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Look, let me just start. Okay, for the record, I am not a big fan of Gavin Newsom. I'm really not. I think the fact that he threw trans people under the bus was absolutely abhorrent. Okay, how he's been treating homeless people in the state, not good. Okay, I don't like that either. So, again, Newsom's got a lot of problems. That said, I do approve of this message. Okay, why? Why do I do? Why? because mocking Donald Trump works. It gets under his skin. Look, getting mad does not work against MAGA. Showing them that you're upset, like, for example, about the rampant human rights abuses, that only fuels them. They love that, okay? They remember their number one goal, okay, is to trigger the libs. They want to see you get upset. So mocking them, though, that really pisses them off, okay? Because they end up melting like little snowflakes, all right? That's it. That's it. Remember, fascists hate being called fascist, okay? For the most part. Now, there are some that gleefully agree and say, oh, yes, go ahead and call me that. Yeah, that's great. But most of them don't. Racists hate being called racist. That's why they melt down all the time when you actually point out when they're being racist. I mean, look, again, these are the people that are like, why are you being so mean to me? The left, they're so mean. What happened to the tolerant left, everybody? After they had posted something about calling on, or posted a call to do eugenics against disabled people, okay? And you call them out for it, and then they're like, oh, why are you so mean to me? You gotta understand that the tolerant left, we're not that. I am very anti-fascism, okay? I am intolerant of fascism, racism, sexism, and transphobia. I can go on, too. There are plenty of things that I am very intolerant of that the right wing is engaging in right now. So get mad. So at the end of the day, my point is mocking them for their backwards and shitty beliefs. It's not only the right thing to do, but it's also kind of fun. Now, back to Newsom, right? So now he's not only mocking Donald Trump with those posts, but, he's also fighting fire with fire, and I can appreciate that. Even though I am not one of his fans, okay? I am not a Newsom fan. I do not want him running to be, the Democratic nominee in 2028. Okay, I think he's way too pro-corporate, way too in the pockets of the real estate industry, et cetera, et cetera. Doing the whole transphobia thing. I hate it. But nonetheless, I can appreciate this approach because he's actually starting to get it right. He's one of the few Democrats who actually knows how to fight fire with fire. So, there you go. Now, there are other Democratic states, by the way, that have also vowed to retaliate if Texas goes through with their redistricting. For example, New York and Illinois. Okay? Now, that, of course, prompted Republicans to do this, to start talking about doing this in Ohio and Indiana. And so it's turning into a gerrymandering arms race, which is not good. That sucks for democracy, actually. The consequences for all of this, if we get into this gerrymandering arms race, are not good for the country overall. But you can thank Donald Trump and Greg Abbott of Texas for it. Now, Newsom isn't done, of course. After Florida Governor Ron DeSantis went on Fox News to claim that California's redistricting commission, which draws up the maps, it's a nonpartisan commission, was nothing more than a ruse, and that California is so gerrymandered. Really? Okay. Even though that, again, this commission tries to make the most fair maps, and it's just that more Democrats live in the cities, okay? And so there is more Democratic representation in those cities. Sad day for you. Newsom hit back at DeSantis as well, saying, quote, "The thirst queen has emerged." Wow. "We will not be lectured on democracy by someone who lost to a cartoon mouse with loves." To which I say, let him fight. Let him fight. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you become a member on our YouTube page, you become a subscriber on Facebook,
or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.